Welcome back to Business Line. You're right on time to catch Rajiv Lulla in conversation with Aarti Krishnan about investing in the stock markets.
Last week we spent time talking about starting to invest in the stock market. This week we'll spend time on risks. What is risk? How to avoid taking risk. We have with us Aarti Krishnan, Research Head of the Hindu Business Line. Welcome back, Aarti. So Aarti, I hear a lot about people losing their shirt in the stock market, and that's what keeps me out of that market. So now, what should I do? What does it mean?
If a person has lost his shirt in the stock market, it generally means that he has taken on undue risk, more risk than he can comfortably bear. So typically people who lose their shirt have made one of the following mistakes. The first thing is they could have invested with borrowed money. When you borrow money and invest that and you lose part of that capital, you end up paying many times what you put into the market. Yes. The second thing is you end up punting on stocks instead of investing. Basically, you get a tip or a hot rumor from a friend and you say this stock is going to go up in 10% in one day. And you find that after buying it, it actually sinks by 30% in one day. That's another mistake. The third thing is you dabble in stocks or investments that you don't understand. Before even understanding how to invest in stocks, there are a good number of investors who go on to derivatives. Now that's Warren Buffett once called them weapons of mass destruction, not for fun. I mean, if you invest 10 rupees in derivatives, you can lose as much as 100 rupees because that's the leverage multiplier effect that derivatives have.
And we all saw that in Enron and a whole lot of stock market crashes in the US and everywhere else.
Yeah. So those, if you basically invest in a considered way after understanding what you're putting your money into, the chances of losing your shirt are really limited. You can also restrict the amount of money you put into the stock market. Don't bet your all in the stock market. Put a portion of your portfolio in it.
Let's also, for our audience sake, define what risk is.
Now, if you ask financial analysts that, they'll give you a lot of complicated calculations. They'll say it's beta and it's standard deviation and so on. Basically, those measures measure the volatility of a stock, how much a stock can move on a particular day. But as a lay investor, what are you worried about? Losing money, right? So risk simply defined is the chance of losing money on a stock and how much of money you can lose on a stock.
That makes sense.
So risk, you should understand it as losing part of your capital that you put into the stock.
But that could mean different things to different people. So I'm young, I'm 24, started my first job a few years ago, I have some saving, versus I'm 60 and I have some pension income and my risk profile is different.
Yes.
Now, does that make them prone to different risks, different mistakes, different kind of stocks?
Exactly. So I'd say there are 4 factors that you should look into. One is your age. The younger you are, the longer you have to earn back any money that you've lost in the stock market. So typically if I'm 65 years old, I have got my gratuity funds and I've put them into the stock market. And now because of the crash last year, I lost a good portion of that money. How do I recoup that? There's no way really. So that's why people say when you're younger, you can take on more risk because you have more earning years ahead of you. The second thing is the kind of income, absolute income that you earn, how sufficient it is for your living expenses and how much of a surplus you have. The third thing is if you have high borrowings. Suppose I earn quite a lot of money, but a good portion of this goes into repaying a EMI on a home loan or a EMI on a car or whatever. Then I need to set aside money for that apart from my living expenses. So that will also reduce the amount of risk I can take in the stock markets.
Let's also talk about low risk stock investing since we are on the topic. What defines low risk? What differentiates it from treasury, from bonds and all that? So if you can talk about low risk investing as well.
Is there such a thing you're asking me? Yeah, whenever you put any money into stocks, you have to be prepared to lose a portion of it if the market really falls or if there is a swing in the short term. So if you hold on for 3 to 5 years, you hope to make that up over that period of time. However, there are a few ways in which you can contain the damage to your own finances from your stock market investments. Now, there are 3 or 4 methods that you can employ. First thing is you put a small portion of your overall savings into the stock market. Suppose I have a 10 lakh portfolio and I put just 1 lakh into stocks. Even if I lose 50,000 to the market swings, I won't be unduly worried because after all I have the remaining 9,50,000 still with me. Right? The second thing is you can take the mutual fund route. You can invest in stocks through equity funds, which we discussed quite elaborately over the past few episodes. So if you take the mutual fund route, the onus of your tracking your portfolio and selling, buying, etc. is reduced. and you have professional managers to run the show for you. The third way in which you can reduce risk is by setting a target return. You say that this year I want to earn say 10% or 15% from stocks. Once I hit that return, I decide to exit. I don't have to make up my mind later on will it run up more, will it run up less, and so on.
So I also want to demystify one concept for our viewers, which is risk versus reward. Just because they are taking a whole lot of risk doesn't mean that a whole lot of reward is guaranteed.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
how they don't match up. I mean, guaranteeing some returns is exactly the opposite of risk taking.
Yes. We often get phone calls, in fact, people asking us, Madam, can you recommend high risk stocks which will give me, which will turn out to be multi-baggers? Now, when that person is talking of risk, he is basically looking at the return side alone. If a stock can go up twofold in a particular year, that is the same stock which will fall by 50% in a single year. So even within stocks, there are the sort of stocks which can double or triple your money and can lose a good portion of the capital itself. There are other stocks which are steady, they pay steady dividends year after year, and the return may not be brilliant, it may not be a multi-bagger, but it can give you a 15 to 20% return. If you are a long-term investor and if you feel that your risk appetite is really not very high, you can always bet on those kind of stocks. That's what strategies like dividend yield investing and all are about, where you pick stocks where year after year you are ensured a dividend from the company which can actually double up as another income for you.
Great. Now these other investment vehicles you mentioned, mutual funds and all, we covered them in the past previous episodes. They're all, by the way, available for our viewers on YouTube at any time. Let's also take a look at what differentiates buying index funds, mutual funds from stocks. Yes, it's lower risk, but is it also lower returns?
It's not low returns. Actually, if you see from over the last 1 year, from 2009, when the stock market rebounded, the top performing fund has given a 170% return. Now, that's not a return that every investor will be able to manage on his own. Now, the thing that people most often look at while comparing stocks to mutual funds is that there are these small stocks at 4 rupees and 5 rupees which can go to 15 rupees in a year. Now, those kind of cases, unearthing the right stocks is a really rare thing. You will not always find stocks which will go up multifold in a year.
And you would recommend not trying to find these stocks online, rather find it from your first-hand experience.
Exactly. Try to find it based on what is the business that the company is doing. Think of yourself as a part owner of the business when you buy a stock and not just as a trader on the stock market. So coming back to your question of mutual funds versus stocks, mutual funds can may not deliver the returns of the highest stock in the stock market, but they do manage to match the market returns. That is, if the index is up by a certain percentage, a good fund should be able to manage or outdo that index return. When you buy index funds, what you are ensuring basically is that the investment that you hold performs as the market does. Now, there are many people who have complaints that they bought stocks last year, they haven't moved an inch, but the index has doubled in value. Now, you would be avoiding that kind of a circumstance by buying into index funds.
Thank you, Aarti, for being with us yet again. We talked about a whole lot of investment vehicles over the last 13 weeks. Our viewers can go on anytv-hindu.com or on YouTube and look up all of these segments at their own leisure. Thank you, Aarti, for being with us again.
It's been nice to be here.
Stay tuned. Coming up on the show is a chat with Arnaud Sobe, CEO, Alcatel-Lucent Management Services, India.